this is your first time here, then welcome. And if not, then welcome back. My name is Haley. I do a lot of different things here on YouTube, or I'm going to start doing a lot of different things on YouTube. But specifically, I love talking about books and just like the books that I've read. So today I'm going to be talking about the book They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. And this is the cover. When I saw it, obviously I was like, it's interesting. I love the cover. And like after like reading it, like it's so good. Like it fits so well. So I'm going to talk a little bit, and this is like your warning here. There are going to be spoilers because I want to talk about the book and kind of my thoughts about different things. So you've definitely had time, I feel like, to click off at this point if you're not going to continue because you've not read this book or you're planning on reading it in the future. But if not, then I am going to keep going. So this book, I loved it. I loved the way that it was written. I loved how it flowed. I think that Jessica Goodman's writing style is very unique. It's not one that I've ever like read anybody that's like written like her before, I guess. So I really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed it because I didn't see, this is a mystery young adult novel, kind of like a who did it, who killed this person, mystery thriller type thing. So, I didn't know who did it, and I didn't call who did it. And a lot of times when I do call it, I get disappointed in like the book, I guess. So that was good that I did not call the ending. But I did. I loved this book. I thought it was really good. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. So this book's main character is Jill, and she has freshman year started with two best friends, Shayla and Nikki. And Nikki, she kind of like brought into her friend group later, because Shayla really liked her, but that's that. So Shayla really liked Nikki, and they all kind of were like pining for Shayla's attention. She was kind of the girl in high school that everyone wanted to be like. Everyone wanted to be her friend. Everyone bought the shoes that she wore. Everyone kind of looked to her for social direction. So freshman year, a couple of months into freshman year, she gets murdered by her boyfriend, Graham. And so then we flash forward to senior year. It's her and Nikki. And then they have another friend as well. And I don't remember his name because he only really comes up in the book like 3 times. But yes, so Jill's dating this guy named Henry. She's a senior. She's now a player, which she was wanting to be. And the players are kind of like this secret society in their school. The school knows about it, but they don't shut it down. But the school also doesn't know like exactly what's going on, I guess, because then they would 100% shut it down. So they have like these player records, and it's like every test that they could take, it's got like help for like their SATs, like all this stuff for like college admissions essays, and like any test that you would need or any answer key that you would need, like they have it in the files. And so it's kind of like this safety net for all of these people that are the players, because they get the highest grades, like they have the best parties, like they're like the it group. But you have to be chosen to be a player, and you go through a series of like hazing, or what they call pops, in order to kind of gain access and to prove like you're like worthy of accessing this material. Which worthy, like it's just like a, when you read the book, or if you've read the book, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. They have this kind of like time of like proving themselves of like to these seniors, like because when you're a freshman, you're brought in and you kind of have to prove that you can like, I guess, hold your own. I'm not really sure what else like the reasoning would be. But like if they're gonna be worthwhile, and I guess kind of like a security of like you did like these bad things, so like there's no way that you're gonna rat us out for this, because if you rat us out for this, we'll rat us out for what you did, which is way worse. So I think that could be kind of a reasoning, like a security thing, maybe. I don't know. So Jill is in her senior year, and her friend Nikki, her best friend Nikki, that was friends with Shayla, she is like, they're still BFFs, super close. And Nikki is now like the leader of the players. Like, she's like the senior head of the players, which it's never been a girl before, which is like great. Like, go women. And it's like, okay, that's great. But then they've like agreed that they're gonna change everything also. Like, they're not gonna make the Pops as bad as they were, and they're gonna kind of lessen it, especially because Jill's younger brother Jared is super interested in becoming a player, especially when he finds out about all of the test things and just kind of the security. But she looks at her brother like, I mean, kind of like I look at my little brother, like, you're precious, you're innocent, like, I never want anything bad to happen to you, and I'm gonna do anything that I can to protect you. So she doesn't want him to know the kinds of things that she had to do to get in to be a player, number one. And then number two, like, she wants to protect him, like, from that also. Like, I would want to protect my brother if I was a player and he wanted to be a player. So I totally get that. So that's great. You can hear my dog probably jumping around. She's got the zoomies right now, so that's fun. This is a picture of her and my husband, so for reference, you can imagine that little thing running around. But yes, so her and Nikki have like agreed that they're gonna kind of like bring in this whole like era of change for the players and make things better. And this is super great. Like, Jill's super excited about this. She's worried about her brother, whatever. So then her friend Adam, who was a senior at the time when she was a freshman, he kind of like, I want to say groomed, but like he was basically grooming her to like be a player, and was like getting her all this access and was spending a lot of special time with her, because her mom had hired him to tutor her son Jared, because Jared wasn't doing well in school at the time. And so they were paying Adam to tutor him in order to do it, in order to like, you know, do better on his grades and stuff. So, because you wouldn't tutor somebody to like do worse. But yeah, you get it. So, she starts tutoring him. They form a relationship. Then Adam graduates. And so she's super bummed because she has a crush on Adam, but she's not going to tell anybody that. And her and Adam have stayed close, like this like transition from like freshman and senior year to like him being in college and away and in Boston. And she wants to apply to like the college up in Boston and is like wanting to go to school with him, because she knows that like once they get together, like up there together, everything's going to be great and fun like it was kind of her freshman year. And that's like what she's banking on and hoping for. So while she has this crush still that she's harboring, that's like been like a 4-year long crush at this point, she's also dating this guy named Henry, who is a senior, and they just are kind of expected to date one another, but she still loves him. But she's like struggling with like loving Henry, like, because she does love him and she cares for him, but she's not in love with him. And so that's rough. There she goes again, my dog. So she like struggles with that, which I think that like a lot of people have had like a relationship kind of like that, where you're like, we're more friends than we are like intimate like partners, I guess. So that's hard. Like, I can't imagine what it would be like. I've never been in a relationship like that personally, so I can't speak on it a ton, but I know a lot of other people have. And I'm gonna move on because I don't have a lot to say about that. So it kind of comes around time for their first thing where they have like this initiation, and Nikki is freaking acting like a crazy psycho, and she's like, no, we're gonna go crazy. And she is making her little brother do this stuff, and her little brother's like, yeah, I wanted to do it, so quit standing up for me, you're making me seem like a baby. Which, like, yeah, I get that perspective of like, you're trying to seem big and bad like in front of these like seniors. You don't want your big sister coming in and like making you look soft. So I get that. But also, like, that's your sister, dude. Like, you probably should have, like, stuck with her. Especially because she was, like, sticking out for you. And, like, for a good reason. Like, you're doing stuff you shouldn't be. So, she leaves the players, and this is kind of like a thing that she wrestles with throughout the entire rest of the book, really. Because she's not a player anymore. She's been a player her entire high school career. I mean, I don't really know how to say. I mean, high school career, I don't know. High school time, that era of your life where she has been this entire time with the players and now she doesn't have them. So who's she going to eat lunch with? Like, they have a specific table that they eat at, and there's like a whole hierarchy, which I won't get into, but essentially everyone bases around this table, and then you spread out, and the way that you spread out depends your social thing, but that's all I'm going to say about that. So she decides to eat in the library after this, and after she's eating in the library, she gets a text, and she's been dealing with this whole thing where Graham was the one that was like accused and arrested and is now in prison for Shayla's murder. And Graham was Shayla's boyfriend at the time, and this like shocked everyone because we thought that like Graham loved her, and it just doesn't seem like Graham. Like, it seems like old Graham, because when they were growing up and going through like middle school and stuff, and like even just like their beginning freshman year, he did seem like a little you know. But now that they were like starting to date, like he was a totally different person, and like he truly loved Shayla. So you're like, why would he kill her? So then when Graham's sister texts you, like, Graham didn't kill her, he just doesn't remember what happened that night because they were all like blacked out drunk. So he has like lapses in his memory where he just like doesn't remember what's going on. And so you're trying to figure out this entire time, like, who the heck killed Shayla? Why did they kill Shayla if it's not Graham? And so she eventually sees Graham in prison and is like, I don't know that it wasn't you, but I don't know that it is you either. So, I mean, like, that's something for him. And so his older sister is like, this is great. Like, she's kind of the one facilitating all of it. But then she goes back to school and she's like, I don't know. I just got a lot going on. She's got midterms. Midterms are a lot. I remember being in high school, midterms, like, feeling like the end of the world at the time. So I get it. Like, times are tough when you're in school. Like, I get it. It's a whole different type of tough. So she's like chilling and doing her thing, doing midterms, but she can't let this Graham thing go. Like, if Graham is saying that he didn't kill her, and like, even if he did kill her, like, why did he kill her and how did he kill her? Because he has that like lapse in judgment. So she's like, for my friend, like, I have to decide what happened. So the rest of the book, she's just kind of like trying to figure it out. She's looking for clues. She breaks into Shayla's house, and her room essentially, like, it looks exactly the way that it did when she last saw it. Which I know that a lot of like families do that, like where they keep like a child, if they pass away, they'll keep like their room kind of like untouched. And so like that made sense. She kind of went in there, it was untouched, and she was looking for clues about who like Shayla could have been also like talking to around this time, because they start to think that she had like a secret boyfriend based on something that Graham said. And so she starts looking, and she finds a diary entry or a letter that she had written to a different friend. And it's talking about how she like really liked this guy, but he was older than her, and like nobody would understand, and how she really wanted to tell Jill, but she like knew that Jill wouldn't understand. And so you're like, who the heck? Like, and so then she writes on about talking about making out with this dude in like the back of a parking lot, like the back parking lot at this school, which is the school faculty parking lot. So she immediately like thinks back about how this teacher and Shayla had like this really close relationship, and that teacher, like, he had graduated pretty early, so he was only like 22 when he started teaching. And so there really wasn't like a huge age difference. Like 6 years isn't like a huge age difference when you're older, but like between like 22 and 14, like that's a lot. And like even like if they were 16, like that's still like a lot, you know? So it's a whole thing. But she's like, okay, he's having a relationship with the teacher. And so they kind of track down this thing and they're like, okay, it's not the teacher. Then like, who the frick is it? Like, who's older? Who did she have contact with? And who, and like, why? Like, why did they kill her? And so you're digging through the rest of the book, and then Adam says something, and you're like, oh man, it's Adam. Adam's the killer. Adam is the killer. So Adam has killed Shayla, and you're like, why the heck did you do it, Adam? And so he starts coming on to Jill, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, yes, thank you. Like, I've been waiting for this moment. I loved this boy for like 3 years, 4 years, whatever, a significant amount of time. And he finally likes me back. This is great freaking news for me. So she is like, but wait, like, he's so emotional. Like, I'm so emotional. Like, this is not how I want it to happen. Like, if you're for real about this, like, we need to wait a little bit for us to start something up where we're like both ready and like in a place for this. And he's like, no, but like, you're so much better than Shayla. And so that's when you're like, homeboy's the killer. So then he does confess that he's the killer, and you find out he killed her, but like by accident. He like took her out there to that thing, and Shayla had broken up with him because she said that he was like too clingy. Which I get that. Like, sometimes people can come on too strong. And like, if that is not like I'm not a person that's very clingy, and I do not like in relationships for somebody to be overbearing or to be like up my butthole the entire time. So if somebody came on like that, like, I definitely would not be in a relationship with them, and I would cut it off, because it's like, we're not meant to be together. Like, it's not that they're in the wrong and I'm right, or vice versa. We just function differently. That's totally cool. We just ain't meant to be together. And that's, I think, what Shayla was doing. So Shayla cut off Adam. She's like, this is a little too much for me, a little too quick. Like, pump the brakes, brother. Like, I need to stop. Like, I'm a freshman. All this is happening a little quick. So Adam is pissed, like upset about this. Takes her over there. He's like, I'm going to be your leader for the pop. And so she's relieved. Like, Shayla is like, thank God, like, Adam's got me. Nothing bad can happen. But it does. We know. Because she dies. So Adam is like arguing with her. And then he pushes her. And her head hits a rock. And she bleeds out and dies. So it wasn't like an intentional kill. Which is why this book didn't get as much of a good rating as I wanted to give it, because I didn't like the ending. I don't like that it was an accidental kill after this like whole big buildup of like, I don't know. And maybe that's like because I've read a lot of different mystery novels, but yeah. So this on me for Goodreads was a 4 out of 5. I wanted to give it a 5 out of 5 because I do really like her writing style. Kind of like I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I do like her writing style. I think she's a great author, and I love the way that she writes. I think it flows so well. It's easy to read. I love it. Like, it's a great young adult mystery novel. Like, and like, I don't know if it's just me, but like during the fall, like when it's colder, I'm more interested in mystery novels. But then once it hits like Christmas, I'm back into romance, because like the Hallmark thing, I think, has like changed my brain and the way that I function. But I love a good mystery novel. I've read a lot, and so maybe that's why I was hoping for something like bigger and more malicious. But I guess that's a twist ending of itself, which I guess that, I mean, that works. So but yeah, so if you have been watching this far, thank you so much. I will be seeing you in my next video. I'm currently reading They Wish They Were, or no, not They Wish They Were Us. That's the book I'm reviewing right now. I am reading Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, and I am really liking it so far. I'm excited to talk about that book in my next video. And yeah, so be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, talk about some books that you would like me to read, some books that you have read that you really liked, because my TBR list is starting to run pretty low. And if you read They Wish They Were Us, like, what did you think of it? Like, did you like the ending? Did you like that it was Adam? Did you know it was Adam from the beginning? Let me know. I'm very interested and would genuinely care to know. So thank you again for watching so far, and I will see you in my next video.